Greetings, boys and girls, mummies and daddies, kulus, grandmom, and everyone else who's watching this lesson. Today we are back again on lesson 5, and there's a topic there which is saying finding friends. I know most of you, if not all of you, you have friends, you have people that you hang out with, you have people that are close to your heart, and that's our topic for today. And our memo text is saying, I've called you friends, for everything that I learned from my father, I've made known to you. That's coming from John chapter 15, verse 15. So this is Jesus speaking, that I've called you friends, because whatever that I've learned from my father, I've also made known to you. So usually what happens with friends, we tell them everything that's happening in our lives, especially if they are good friends. I have best friends. I also have friends that I tell everything that's been happening in my life. So with friends, we tell them, we don't hide things to them. That's the relationship that we share with friends. So we also, as Christians, we have a duty to go and tell people about Jesus, about the good news, which is the Bible. So for our story today, it's simply about Jesus, when he was finding his disciples. So when you are going to be reading through all the PowerPoint lesson, you'll find out that they'll be talking more about how Jesus chose the 12 disciples. But for this lesson, for this instant one, we're just going to focus on two groups, which is Peter and Andrew, then it jumps and John. So with Peter and Andrew, they were actually fishing, and that's when Jesus came and he told them, leave whatever that you are doing. I want you to become fishers of men. And they actually left everything and they followed Jesus. So from this one, have you maybe, do you think you could do the same thing when it comes to the Word of God? To say there are certain things that we might actually need to live and to follow Jesus. And maybe there are actually certain things that we need to live for us to be able to share the good news, to become fishers of men, just like Andrew and Peter. Or we could say, are there ways maybe that we could be missing as boys and girls? Are there ways that we could share this good news to others? I want you to think about that, to say, me as talent, me as mama, as daddy, what is it that I can live for me to be able to share the good news? And how am I going to do this? For Jesus to come earlier, we need to go out and share the good news. We need to go out and tell people that there's a Jesus that saves and is coming soon. And that's how he can come. So probably maybe there is something that we are missing, in your life, in your personal life. I want you to go and think, to say, what is it? What can I do for me to be able to go and share the good news? And then for James and John, they actually left everything, including their occupation and even their father, and they followed Jesus. What can you do to make sure that your heart is fully devoted to Jesus? What is it also that you need to live to make sure your heart is fully devoted to him? That's a question. I want you to share this in the comment section. Probably not what you need to live, but then ways probably that you could do so that people can understand, can hear more about Jesus as boys and as girls, as little children, as little boys, as little boys, as pathfinders, maybe even as mothers and daddies. There are certain things that we need to live to follow Jesus. Also, I want you guys to go and probably need to do a self-introspection and see the talents that you have. What is it that I could do? So there are things that you can do to share the word of God. So for myself, I've noticed that I can speak a lot, and I'm also very good with teaching. So I've decided, wherever I am, I'll be teaching, and I'll be teaching about God. I'll be teaching about the Bible. So I find time to read, I find time to go through scriptures so that when I come across with some people, I teach them about the Word of God. So I noticed that's a talent in me. I can be able to teach. I've also noticed that I'm also very good with speaking with people, smiling. You could say hospitality in general, yes. So when I'm at church, I make sure that you look for visitors, you greet people, you smile with them. By doing so, people can come to Jesus just simply by doing so. So I want you to go and think of self introspection. What is it? What are the talents that I have, and how best can I use those, to preach the word of God? If you had maybe, let's say, the cure for cancer, I know, would you be quiet if you had the cure for cancer? Probably you wouldn't be quiet. You would go out to the world, tell the world, this cancer, I found the cure for cancer, and it could be cured in this way and this way and this way. Imagine us Christians, Seventh-day Adventists, to be particular, be specific. With the good news, we have books that we can read, but we are not sharing this word. So we are saying that as boys and girls, we can be able to share this word of God to others also. I hope you will be blessed, and you take time to introspect, to see what is it that I'm good at, and if I had this news that I have that I'm holding into, what can I do to make sure that others are also served, to make sure that others know about Jesus. Find time to go through that, and probably you could write it in the comment section, or you could just write it down in your diary to say, I'm good in this and this, and because of it, I'm going to be sharing the word of God through this process and this process. Be blessed and have a wonderful work. Don't forget to share the word of God to your friends, to your family, to your schoolmates, your classmates, everyone that you're coming across with. Make sure that you share something with them, and may they be blessed. See you next time.